everybody. This is Cheryl on day 23. Yesterday should have been a recap of day 22, not 21. But I wasn't, you know how I lose time, and my director evidently was not up on it. So that's the correction I had to make. Now on to day 23. I started out the day really positive, but then my kidney really started hurting. So I had a temporary breakdown because I started thinking, what if this is Hashimoto's attacking another one of my organs? Because I've had a lot of kidney infections throughout my life, but I've never had one on one side before. That has just never happened in my life. And so I got to thinking, what if this is Hashimoto's attacking another one of my organs? And I read in a couple of articles that sometimes leukemia onsets as a pain in the side and the lower ribs and the kidney region. So I don't know why, but I just broke. So I don't know. You know, it's hard when you have an autoimmune disease, because at any minute it could turn into leukemia, or it could attack another organ and destroy it. And so that's one thing that's always at the back of my mind. And so I was worried about that for a while, but then I said a little prayer and I laid down for a minute, but I didn't go to sleep. I haven't been to sleep today, which is why I probably look drugged out of my mind, because I had to take my afternoon meds, a Benadryl, and 2 Tylenols, because something bit me and it's got a knot on my back so big it looks like I'm growing an extra rib blade. What's the thing called? Shoulder blade. So I don't know, I'm just, you know, I hate to admit this, because I told my son this the other day. Excuse me, this is so emotional. That maybe I always pick the wrong guys because I'm sabotaging myself. Because maybe I'm scared to get married. And not for all the obvious reasons, but because I don't know that I could take losing my husband. And the closest I came is when I was engaged to that supposed soldier. And that's why when I ended it, I said either something or I loved him way more than I thought. But I used to tell him, if not every night, every other night, Caleb, please don't make me a widow before I even become a bride. Excuse me. I don't know if I can handle that devastation, but I am getting to the point where I'm lonely, and even though love hurts, I gotten back in the ring, but I'm getting too old to just have relationships, loose relationships, relationships that don't mean anything. And I think for one, because of my personality, I know I would make a good wife on the basic stuff, but I'm scared. And then it would be a challenge to be married to me with my health problems. I just know that loneliness is starting to set in, and I didn't give a care before. I didn't care. I did not want to be hurt. So that tells me that I must be healed to the point that I'm willing to try again. But I don't want to just try with anybody. There are 2 people I have in mind. I'm not gonna say their names. But there are 2 people I have in mind, and these are quality men. They're men that's doing something with their lives. They're men that's going places. They're men with power. That's gotten me in trouble so many times in my life. You know how they say never mess with your boss? Well, I've been there and done that, and it did not end well. But I am very attracted to powerful men. But not politicians. I find them very dry and boring, as do our lawyers. I did date some doctors, and they're kind of weird. But so it's not like I've just dated around the way guys or hood guys. When I was in that upper crust, when I was in my 20s, I dated all kinds of rich men. I mean, I dated guys that wanted to just jet me off to Paris for dinner, and I was like, oh no, this is too much. Because I figured there was always some strings attached, so I'd be like, no. But I'm getting lonely, and it's like I've had a career, almost like I've had a career for all my teens, 20s, 30s. Now I'm in my 40s, and I'm tired of looking for love in all the wrong places. I just want somebody who I can settle down with. I still don't know about the marriage part, but at least somebody I can stand long enough to see if we can get something going. Like I said, I never know which way my journey is taking me, and I'm starting to have to self-examine my emotions and my feelings, and a lot of times I don't like what I come up with. But today I just had to confess that being lonely sucks. But then, you don't want just anybody just to say I got a man. That's crazy. So I'm not just settling for any old thing. And maybe my expectations are a little high. And people have often compared me to Chili, like, is there any man on earth that's going to satisfy you? My requirements for a man are not that hectic. Have ambition, drive. Looks, of course, because it's that initial physical attraction that draws you to that person. But then have some personality, have a sense of humor, be able to keep your pants zipped, and don't be a liar. I don't think that's asking for a lot. And yes, I do like Caucasian, Hispanic, Italian, Cuban. I love those men. They are the most sexiest, gorgeous things on the planet to me. And a lot of people are mad at me because I do not date black men, but they're, you know, that's just a personal choice. So I probably will get a lot of comments about that, but I don't care because it's my personal choice. Just like a lot of guys don't like heavy women, whereas some guys want a woman so big she's 500 or 700 pounds. Everybody has their opinion and everybody has a preference. I prefer, I guess you could classically call them white men, although they can't all be grouped as white men, but that's just my preference. That's who I told my mother when I was 10 years old I wanted to marry a white man. That didn't get very many jokers from the family. But then again, I was a little girl in the 60s when everything was in an uproar, and so, you know, but that's just me, that's my preference, which is probably why I'm gonna have so much fun on my trip to Miami, which I'll get into that another day. And much love. Erase the hate, increase the peace. Don't believe everything you hear. Everything that glitters is not gold, and the grass is not necessarily always greener on the other side of the fence. Good night.
Survivor, I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving.